Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the Social Tea here. I'll be here talking about all things social, including celebrity news, reality shows, and what's going on in pop culture. In other words, I'll be spilling the tea and telling everybody's business. However, we know folks always give them their feelings. So, I must say, all things stated here are alleged and are my opinion only. Now, before we get our teacups out, make sure you hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe. So, with that being said, relax, get comfortable, and let's get into it.
Hey y'all. Well, there's some new information. I guess it's not new. I guess it's not new. So, as of late yesterday, LaTocha Scott is making her interview rounds, and she did an interview with Fox Soul. In that interview, she did state that she was supposed to do her gospel album with her sister. I wonder why that wasn't said on the show, on the Queens of R&B show. I'm just wondering. And she also states that she still knows nothing about the $30,000. Take a listen.
Welcome back, soulmates. Now, tonight we're joined by a vocally gifted, extremely vocally gifted powerhouse singer of the multi-platinum selling group Xscape. But first, please welcome LaTocha Scott Bivens. LaTocha, welcome.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Singing, girl.
Thanks for taking a moment from your busy schedule. You're on your tour bus right now.
Yes. I'm out here working, loving on people, being able to get out in front of folks and talk to them. And it's different. You know, back in the day, we used to get on the tour bus and we go to radio stations and, you know, we touch lives like that. And I just wanted to get back to that and promote this album that's coming out on Good Friday. So, you know, it's just that.
Well, LaTocha, you recently had a
Well, I always wanted to do music, any genre of music. I feel like when God gives you a gift, it's supposed to be shared. It's not supposed to be caged. And so I've always had that mindset. And at the same time, you know, to be transparent, my sister and I were talking about doing music together. And what that would entail would be just us, the sisterhood, the gospel. We grew up in the church and just continuously using the gift. And things got kind of went downhill when we started to film. And when you talk about being an inspiration and doing inspirational music, you want to be evenly yoked. And at that time, I was like, nah, this is just not the place. And like Vivica said before, I heard you on the other interview, everybody not meant to go with you, and it could be family included. So I had to come to the realization, but this is something I always wanted to do. And life took a turn. You know, it was different things for me. And I started to write about my experiences. As I'm writing these experiences, I'm like, Lord, this is something that I know you want me to do. There were no kinks in the road. There were no hiccups. It's something that's just happened organically. And I was so excited and surprised that going to the label to say, hey, I want ownership. You know, I want to be able to do a partnership with this. And I got ownership. I actually signed myself to myself. And so many times as women and our counterparts get all of the accolades and the things of that sort. And now that I'm in this space, I can also help someone else. So it's just all an assignment that I have. And I'm heeding to that assignment from God. That's all.
So like you said, you were in a group. You were with the group Xscape.
Yes.
What made you?
Am.
You still am. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Because I think a lot of people have that confused, you know? But to do a solo album, that takes a lot of faith in oneself, you know, to say, you know what, I know I'm in a group, but I got something I want to share. Because I'm going to tell you, your voice was stunning. The video, the white, all of that. I mean, just truly mesmerizing. What
we've all seen, like, there's been a lot of critical talk, and I wondered about your mental health, like how it must feel, because I know how I'm affected when I see stuff. And I spent time with you doing a play, and we've had long conversations, and you know, I feel for that. So speaking of mistakes, do you feel like there's a misconception of who LaTocha Scott is at times? And what would you like to say to that? Because does it get frustrating when PR people say, take the higher ground, don't say anything, be quiet, just let... I'd be like, F that, I want to say my truth.
Yeah, I've been quiet for a long time. And I think the misconception for me is that I'm a mean girl or that I'm a thief. You know, even with this $30,000 allegation from my sister, of which I've always wanted clarity since day one. I've called,
Yes.
I've reached out, I've sent voice messages, like to try to get clarity, because you're talking about something that happened 10 years ago that I know nothing of. And I'm finding out in seeing. So my thing is was this for a storyline or is this real life? Because in real life, me and my sister, we talk. And you're talking about 10 years ago, and I'm calling you. And if somebody accuses you of something, they should be able to talk to you about it. It's not even about the $30,000. It's about having my sister back. Like, I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, you need to talk to me. I don't want to hear from somebody. You're talking to everybody else outside of me. Talk to me.
Word.
I'm your sister.
And let me.
Well, as you probably can tell, I had to kind of chop the interview up. It was a lot longer. It was almost 13 minutes, excuse me. But during the interview, she does state that her and her sister were going to go into the gospel thing together. I mean, were they supposed to be the next Mary Mary? I don't know. And, you know, she says everything just started to take its toll and go downhill when they started filming the show, The Queens of R&B, SWV and Xscape. So I do want to say, did you hear her say that she's still in Xscape? I mean, I heard that loud and clear. She wanted to pinpoint, like, yeah, I'm still in the group. I don't know. Because after Kandi speak on it, I don't know. Kandi ain't here for it. But she did want to reiterate she's still in the group Xscape. Like I've been saying, LaTocha has one foot into whatever she wants to do and one foot in Xscape. And whatever she wants to do, when that doesn't work out, then she comes right back into Xscape, which nobody has a problem with. It's just her attitude and the way she goes about things. Now, she keeps talking about how she needs clarity and she needs to know about the $30,000. But, like, my question is, why she never said anything about her sister going into the record deal with her? Or if they doing like a dual type of Mary Mary thing on the show? Like, why is everyone finding out about this now? Like, I really think she's like making that up, or maybe it was at a point where they were going to do a deal, and then maybe Tamika backed out of. I just don't believe her. I just really don't believe her in that aspect. Also, I did hear the part where she said she'll give her the $30,000. So we need to hear Tamika's part again. So I do have a clip where Tamika did the Access Atlanta interview where she explains how her $30,000 went missing or was stolen. Take a listen.
In New York, it was changed to my mom and my sister's address. My sister was living with my mom at that time.
Okay. And so you still really don't know how the address got changed.
No.
So
I mean, I know, but
Well,
I didn't do it. Miss Diane didn't do it.
yeah.
She got on the phone with the guy who basically at the time was running, I guess, that department, and he basically gave her the address where her checks had been going, and he also told her these checks are being cashed. So she was like, being cashed, and then she wanted to see the checks, and
They sent the copies of the checks. On the back of the check was a fake handwriting that said my name and my sister's husband's name. It was cash in his account.
Wow.
So I like endorsed.
Yeah.
Endorsed. Back then, I don't know if they can still do it now.
Yeah.
But 9 years ago, you could do that.
Say that there was like a fake email.
Yeah, see, when we do business,
this is deep.
When we do business, it's times where we have to send over like not fax.
Yeah, I just took a little part of the Access Atlanta interview. And for me, I mean, if this is a lie, it seems like an elaborate lie with a lot of details. I just feel, and I think the public feels, there is no way that anyone is going to do a deep dive into a lie like this. Yes, you can still endorse checks. You can still put a check that's yours in someone else's account as long as your name is signed on the back. So it's not too far-fetched to think that what happened was, what I believe allegedly happened is when they started receiving their royalties, I believe Tasha, Rocky, and or Rocky himself decided that he was going to contact Sound Exchange himself or both of them together, allegedly, and they changed Tamika's information because that's her sister. It just makes sense. It doesn't make sense for her to lie about it. What LaTocha thought was we were over the hill with this. We were over this situation, but like Tamika said, y'all kept poking the bear, so the bear roared, and this is where we're at now. So I'm also gonna show an interview or let you listen to an interview that Rocky had with Tasha K, where he pretty much admits that they did have the money. See, him and his wife is not on the same page. He pretty much admits that they had the money, and it was like a misappropriation of funds. They gave Tamika, they gave LaTocha Tamika's money, or vice versa. So if you or they didn't know anything or had nothing to do with the $30,000, then you would just say, I had nothing to do with it. But if you, and then also with LaTocha, she's also saying that she'll pay it back. Like, okay, sis, if you didn't do it, you shouldn't be offering to pay back money that you didn't originally steal or stole, stole. But take a listen.
Ask you this real quick. So the $30,000, what went on with that? Because that's really what I want to sit down and talk to you about.
Yeah, and you finna see that. Like, the sisters are together. No, Tasha ain't never take no. Man, I can't wait to sit down with you. And Tamika gonna tell it. You know, she gonna. Tasha, this the biggest plot from since you said somebody didn't have nothing to do with it. You're wrong, Tasha K. You're wrong. I'm gonna show you. But this is federal with that dumb chick. But connect the dots. It's only so much connect the dots. It's dots that can be connected, and I'm gonna steer you in the right direction. No, but to answer your question, no. Nah. Tasha didn't take $30,000. How can I deposit $30,000 into it? I can't even put my wife check in my account, first of all. You know, so that's baffling, but no, she didn't. And you know, I'll give her the opportunity to explain that the way she had to explain, but it's no money was taken. And if the truth is, they were paying Tamika Tasha's money. See, but that's a family thing, and I'm not trying to break that wall. But neither one. I mean, the royalty people didn't know. They mixed the sisters up, and they didn't know. You know, but Tamika knew. You know, she knew Tasha wrote everything. She knew Tasha, Thug Holiday, all that. So she knew they was giving her Tasha money. And you know, when y'all saw that editing, man, that scene was chopped and screwed because Tasha then was looking like, what are you talking about, Tamika? Don't do this. But it's even more deeper than that, Tasha. And I'll tell you that, you know, I had to tell you where we at on this promotion, so you might have to fly out and just really sit down, because I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't do all that. But connect the dots. It's one dot you're going to connect, and you're going to be like, I just fell on the holy grail. But it's got to remain anonymous when I point it to you. You see what I'm saying? On certain things. The thing with me, they ain't got to remain anonymous. It's just, it's a situation, you know, it's legal, so I can't talk. But the Xscape stuff, you know, I will allow. I'm not gonna tear them down the way they trying to tear me down, but I will let the truth come out. Does that make sense?
But I mean, they out here. I mean, basically saying what they gotta say. So you really don't want to address it?
No, but you gotta think about it, Tosh. If you look on my Instagram, that's the silliest thing I ever did, but I don't care. I put up an affiliation, right? Mm-hmm. You know, there's one person, but you know that people. It's a name, a gang name. I'm connected, and I can't really say, but you following me? So it's only so much I can do without. So only so much BS I can be a part of, because it's way bigger than all this little, you know, back and forth, or people making money off news or whatever. You know, when they boil down to it, I just stay out of the way, and it's a reason.
And there you have it, folks. So you have LaTocha still sticking with the lie, saying that she did not steal her sister's royalty money. You have Tamika basically going into depth of how her money was stolen. Then you have Rocky basically saying that they did get the checks, and Sound Exchange just mixed the two women up, the two sisters up. Well, hold on, bruh. Didn't your wife say she don't know nothing about no $30,000? I think they need to have more conversations, and I'm starting to believe the mistress in this situation because it seems like they just don't communicate at all. I think they just playing the part for the show on TV now because it does not look like they have any type of conversation with each other. Just like I said, I think it was the second episode when I think it was their anniversary or something or birthday, and they were just sitting there talking. And I think this is the second episode after Tamika had that big blowout with LaTocha and her mother. And they were at LaTocha's house, and her husband were sitting at the breakfast counter having a conversation about what was going on. And he asked, why did she bring my name up? And they were looking at each other like, stick to the lie. Stick to the lie. Y'all are not sticking to the lie if it's the truth. Yeah. She out here saying one thing, he on the call with Tasha K saying another. And furthermore, it doesn't make sense. Just like Tamika stated, Tiny's mom, Miss Diane, signed them all up. They from Atlanta. They all grew up together. They knew where each other, Miss Diane knew where all the mothers lived. She signed them all up. She knew at the time that Tamika was in New York. So she put Tamika's New York address. Somebody, allegedly, I'm going to say Rocky or his wife, or them both, called Sound Exchange, changed it to Tamika's mother address. Now, that right there put the nail in the coffin for me. Because if it was a miscommunication or Sound Exchange made a mistake or it was just a one-off, why was the address changed to their mother's address? And at the time, LaTocha and Rocky was living with their mother. It makes sense. Something that it just makes sense. Now, Tamika might have to come off these receipts. Like, I don't know how she would show it. A check with a name on the back of it. It's old. It's 10 years old, so nobody can cash it or anything like that. But it's crazy. And I just think that now LaTocha's on her little promotional tour for her album that's coming out in probably a week or so, little over a week, the first week of April. And this is time to kind of save face, clear it. She even said, well, I'll pay her back. I'll give it to her. No, she didn't say I'll pay her back. She was like, I'll give it to her. She said that real quick. And I'm like, okay, well, if you didn't take it, why you want to give it to her? Is it just to shut her up? Just to give her a quick $30,000 and shut her up? Because obviously she's working. They're both working. She don't really need it. It's not like she's over here struggling, but it's just the principle. Like you and your husband or your husband alone, and you knew about it, took her money. And you need to make it right. Talking about they family. Yeah, they family. And that's a lot of people online talking about it was family business and it was 10 years ago. It don't matter. It do not matter. If it was 20 years ago, that was her money. And she has every right to state how she feels. Furthermore, she said she was done with it. But when you keep poking at somebody, they're going to blow up. So anyway, write down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Make sure you hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe.